Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
The Valley has seen some frigid temperatures today, but we are in for a bit of a Christmas warm-up. Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson for a look at our forecast. Hutch?
Katie, thanks so much. We started our day with ridiculous cold, actual air temperatures in the teens to 20 below from the Valley and points east, and quieter and clearing conditions finally today as that wind gradually receded. Right now in Fargo, it's a 4 below. Temperatures are going to fall for a little bit longer here before we end up with a warming trend heading into the nighttime hours. The coldest weather near Bemidji, 10 below there. Look at Glendive, Montana, 37 degrees. It's still wind chilly. 20 to 30 below is what it feels like. So pack that survival kit in the car. You don't want to have to change a tire in cold weather like this. Clouds associated with that warmer weather are in the forecast. They could cause a flurry or two. But look at these temperatures tonight. Expected to fall early and then rise once we get beyond the 10 to midnight hour. How warm do we rise, and what about the rest of that Christmas forecast? Oh, and an update for Santa and his reindeer on what they will encounter during the overnight hours here in the Valley. All of that coming up in a few moments.
All right, thank you so much, Hutch. Freezing temperatures and the ongoing coronavirus pandemic continues to impact local families. Valley News Team's Brian Sherrod shows us how one local homeless shelter is having to fill needs more than ever before.
New Life Center is close to filling their capacity, which is rough for them because they have already knocked down their max because of COVID-19. At first, they were accepting 104 people, but now knocked down to 75 for social distancing reasons.
If you find yourself in a situation where you're homeless and without a job, just to get an apartment, it might take you a couple, 3 months to be able to get that first month's rent and that first month's deposit, get back on your feet. So we work with the guys to help them address whatever issues there were that led to their homelessness, so they can get back on their feet.
People staying here are split into 4 different populations by pods. For starters, one is for the working community, while the other is for emergency rescue and those that do not work. The city did help them purchase the warehouse across the street, so 30 people could stay in there safely from the general population. Depending on the individual, they can stay from 15 to 18 months at a time.
These temperatures bring in those gentlemen that are probably least likely to follow any of our social norms and our rules. So they're the ones that are probably living in their car or are living on the street, and it's just so unsafe for them.
Many people find themselves in shelters because they have either lost the support of others or do not have support at all.
Well, many of the guys that come here are here because they do not have that support. They do not have that safety net of a family, of a parent, of a brother, of a sister, or they've estranged those relationships.
New Life Center is considered to be a sober facility, so to stay there, you have to be over the age of 18 and pass a breathalyzer test when you come in. The shelter disinfects all surfaces, countertops, and doorknobs every hour. Reporting from the New Life Center, I'm Brian Sherrod for Valley News Live.
You can help this shelter by providing clothing and financial support to help those that stay there. Full details can be found on the VNL News app. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is declaring a peacetime emergency and providing help to stranded drivers. A winter storm with heavy snowfall and strong winds created blizzard conditions across Minnesota yesterday, closing roads and threatening public safety. This will remain in effect until emergency conditions caused by the storm improves. Fargo police need your help in finding a vulnerable adult. 35-year-old Diamond Lee Wells walked away from ACS at 4624 38th Avenue South. He was last seen around 10 this morning. Wells is described as 5'11", 215 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a light coat with a sweatshirt and jeans and navy blue shorts pulled over those jeans. If you see him, call dispatch at 701-451-7660. Officials say a camper in South Fargo is a total loss after catching fire this afternoon. Around 1:30, fire crews responded to the 400 block of 23rd Street. They found a camper between 2 houses fully engulfed. One man who was down the street visiting family for the holidays heard all the commotion from their living room.
We just felt and heard a really loud boom and stepped right outside and goodness gracious, there's just roaring flames just everywhere. And before you know it, I think we counted like 6 fire trucks in a matter of minutes.
An investigation is underway to figure out the cause. A barn holding more than 1,000 goats caught on fire. It happened around 3 this morning at the Cornerstone Barn off of 520th Avenue in Otter Tail County. The sheriff's office says the barn, goats, a few tractors, and nearby hay are considered a total loss. There's no word on the cause yet, but authorities say it does not appear to be suspicious. No people were hurt. A car crash sent a 56-year-old woman to the hospital this morning. Just before 2:30, Jean Olson was driving east on Interstate 94 near Highway 9 when her Saturn Ion swerved left. Minnesota State Patrol says Olson vaulted into the median. She suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Minnesota health officials say that 4 providers across the state were notified of delays in shipments of the Moderna vaccine. A winter storm is expected and may make the situation even worse. Minnesota is expected to receive 94,800 doses in its initial shipment of the Moderna vaccine this week. A spokesman for the state health department said the 4 delayed orders are very small in size compared to the state's total allotment. So far, more than half of the COVID-19 doses delivered to North Dakota have been administered. 21,000 have reached the state, and nearly 12,000 people have received their first dose, mostly healthcare workers. The U.S. Department of Energy has awarded $250,000 to the University of North Dakota's Energy and Environmental Research Center. Less than 2 years ago, the North Dakota legislature founded the EER to provide funding so new ideas can be explored. So far, 25 research ideas have been funded. The $250,000 will be used to combine an ammonia-based energy storage technology for use at coal-fired power plants. If you're going fishing this time of year, once it gets cold enough, that is, you probably want to make sure you drill your hole in a productive spot. The North Dakota Game and Fish Department is now providing access to free smartphone apps that will show contour maps on more than 200 lakes across the state. It can interact with your phone's GPS, giving you an idea of how deep the water is. You can find the apps and any other information. All you need is to search for gf.nd.gov. The COVID relief bill is in limbo, which means you could wait even longer for help. Later on Valley News Live at 6, we'll tell you what's holding it up.
Face-slapping temperatures this morning and just ear-biting wind chills, 30 to 50 degrees below zero. We close the day with some clearing skies and decreasing winds. Your Christmas Day forecast is next.